The planning conversation starts here on the Income Protection Podcast. Here's your host, Mike Cogdall and Grayson Owen.
All right, Mike, we're back and we're ready to rock. So happy Halloween to you, Mike, and to everybody listening.
Same to you. Driver's license and registration, please.
For those of you listening and you are not watching this on YouTube or LinkedIn, Mike and I are rocking some Halloween costumes. I'm, Guns N' Roses frontman Axl Rose, but for the purposes of today's video, I go by Axl Residual. Shout out to my friend Will Hinder for helping me come up with that one. So how about you, Mike?
Axl Residual, that's pretty sweet. I will just tell you that I'm just a regular Southern State Trooper.
There you go.
So let's get her done, buddy. What's going on in your world this morning?
Not too much, man. Just, getting ready for Halloween. We've got all the candy that we could ever need. I have a daughter and 3 stepsons, as many of you all know. So we've got the costumes ready to rock for Halloween. Everyone in the house is really excited about it. It's a fun time of year. How about you?
It's an uneventful but an eventful, because you know what? You don't have to make turkeys or hams or do anything. You have to just make some decisions, and it depends on what you want to do. And what I mean by that is, do you get the full-size candy bars or do you get the littles and let them take a handful? And we've done both over the years, so I there is no right or wrong, but it's funny when you do the full size, you'll still go for the handful. I'm always excited about Halloween, probably more because of the time of year. I love this weather. I don't care if I'm in Colorado or Florida. I love this weather in this time of year. So it's just perfect at the moment. I think you would agree.
Yep, absolutely. No question. I love the cool mornings, and then it gets just warm enough to keep a t-shirt on by the afternoon. It's pretty perfect. I agree with you, Mike. So yeah, for today's purposes, as many of you may be guessing, we're here to talk about occupations for all working Americans, and maybe some unique occupations we'll touch on today. But Mike, what are your thoughts that, DI kind of focuses in the medical dental market a lot of times, even in the executive market, but we don't want to forget about the unique occupations out there or other working Americans that also need disability insurance coverage.
When you talk about product and you talk about it, and we'll call it with disability insurance geeks, and I think we would fall into that category. Shout out Corey. But anyway, I think we would fall into that category of people that this is what we do for a living, and the circle is relatively small. I think you'd say that's fair. We always talk about this product is built specifically and perfectly for docs. And we hear that over and over, right? The actual individual disability insurance product has been built for doctors. Well, that's all fine and good. But at the end of the day, it's not. You can do so many things with a product, and there's enough carriers out there that everybody, to include my profession, could get some kind of protection product for a paycheck. If it's critical illness and that's all it is, then you have critical illness. But there's something available for everybody, and every occupation, every person that works, and you've heard us say this 1,000 times, and I'll throw this back to you, is it's not too hard to ask. I mean, you know what? And let's use something that I use probably in the first or second episode. If you're not sure what to say, just ask the very simple question. Is your risk protection package current and up to date? And if it's not, let's take a look at it and then wait for the answer. And if you get a little bit stumped, say, I'd like to talk to you about paycheck insurance. And when somebody says, I'm not really sure what you're talking about, you know what? I'd just like to talk to you for a few minutes about paycheck insurance. We don't need to be experts, and nobody does, to have that conversation. And it's like, I'd like to show you, how long could you go? Could you go 90 days or longer without a paycheck? And if somebody says no, Grayson, you tell me your thoughts. Let's go back to the basics. That's all you have to do to get the conversation started. And then I think you would say it's fair that it doesn't need to be a long conversation. You got 3 kids, you make a decision, and then, why don't you let me run some numbers and I'm going to do this cost per 1,000 sales idea today for you. I'm going to show you $1,000 increments of what it costs. So it might be $29 per 1,000. And then we can do the math trying to figure out what you need. What do you think about that? It doesn't have to be COLA, all this stuff, just a 90-day, 2age67, maybe with residual. And say, I'm going to get a $1,000 quote because that number's small. And then you throw the control back to the person, the client, the prospect that hopefully becomes a client, and say, in multiples of 1,000, how much do you need a month to make sure that you and your family don't lose your house, can pay your utilities, can pay for your car and your groceries and basic things? Because then somebody can sit there and look at you and think, I need about 5,000. So it's $150 a month. And now you've got a place to start without you doing anything. What are your thoughts, my friend?
No, I think that's perfect. And I think one of the first times we were on the road together, you shared this concept with me, which was doing the price per premium per thousand so that you're really selling units of coverage. How many monthly units do you need to take care of the household? And that resonates with a lot of individuals. And most working Americans do look at this as, the product's nickname, paycheck insurance, paycheck protection. So selling it in the units to make it fit the needs of the household is brilliant. So I think that's a great concept there, Mike. So thanks for sharing that.
I mean, with anybody, it can work. I mean, you have two things. You either quantify the amount of money you earn over a lifetime, which can be $5.9 million, and show that really big number to somebody. And so they can do the, oh, wow, I'm really worth that much. And then they have the opportunity to compare that to the $500,000 house, right? Just as an example, and go, wow. Or you can do it the other way, which we just discussed. And this is one of my favorite ways to do it. You got a heck of a memory because I called it units and a lot of people don't remember that. But, it's just a unit of measure. It's $1,000. And how many do you need? I need 4. Okay, here we are. We're at $125 or whatever the number is. Does that work for you? Then you can go policy details. You can finish the quote, explain how it works, because you really only need to describe basically 4 things: when it starts, how long it lasts, what they get, and what it costs. And on this one, you've already determined cost, so you get to work backwards. That last thing has just been pushed out of the way and you're done. So yeah. I think as we go into Halloween tomorrow, I think every occupation, it doesn't matter. There are places that you can write a coffee drinking cop. I mean, trust me, somebody out there has something for everyone. Now, does everyone buy? We already know the answer. No. But I mean, I think if you could just reflect and don't let noise get in the way and just ask people really simple questions and see where they go, because you have said this at least 1,000 times. And I want you to elaborate a little bit here this morning. Lack of awareness is, I think you say, the number one. If you told me if you won a Powerball of a huge, huge number, however you got your coin, that you would actually buy advertising on TV for a disability insurance policy. So go ahead. Yeah. Talk about lack of awareness.
Yeah. I think my LinkedIn post said something to the effect of, if I won the lottery jackpot of whatever hundreds of millions of dollars, I wouldn't tell anybody, but there would be signs. And one of the signs would be that you'd start seeing commercials for individual disability insurance out there. So if you ever see those floating around, it might mean that I won the lottery. The reason why I would spend my lottery winnings if I won the jackpot on the commercial is just out of principle. I'd love to share with the industry that I really believe that the simple strategies found in Advertising 101 textbooks would literally help the industry grow overall. And I just think it's important to illustrate that. But we don't really have the broad-based advertising as we've discussed before. So it's really on the distribution network. So we're talking BGAs, we're wholesalers, and certainly producers that are consumer facing. It's up to us to go create the awareness. And I think the best analogy that we've discussed before in a previous episode called supply and demand is that the carriers are really there to create the supply or the inventory to have the products, right? And it's our job in distribution, whether you're a wholesaler, BGA, or a producer, to go create demand. And if there's not enough demand, then you have an awareness problem. This can be solved with advertising, getting loud on social media, creating your own podcast like we've done. We encourage you to do that too. Getting on YouTube. We have to go stir the pot online and social media, and then continue to do what we've done like over the years, which is showing up at conferences, being part of industry associations, having day-to-day conversations with clients just to review their coverage to make sure they're okay, that their risk protection package is literally current and up to date. And if we're not doing those basic things, then we're not going to grow as an industry. So awareness, even though we bring it up a lot, it is the single most important thing to overcome. So the more clients and prospects you have that are aware of the solution and what is at risk, the quicker you will grow your disability insurance practice. That's the bottom.
You know what? We're going to keep trying and we're going to keep pushing. Even if I'm out at a Waffle House drinking coffee this morning, I'm going to just keep talking the game because I got work to be doing.
There we have it. Well, I wanted to just wrap up here and obviously, I'm dressed up as a rock star, so I'd be remiss to not bring up the fact that our DI industry also caters to what we call unique occupations like a rock star or a musician, all other types of entertainers, and then also athletes. So we occasionally will help write athletes as well, make sure that they're covered. Now, these are very unique situations. And so we always lean on our partners at the Lloyd's of London cover holders for these types of unique occupations. And you'd be very surprised about the customized solutions that they come up with. It's very impressive. Yeah. And shout out to our Lloyd's cover holder partners out there. That they are very important and strategic partners to have when you're in the DI space.
It really comes down to, and we'll end it with this, I think, my friend, that just about every single occupation you and I can think of, somehow, some way you can protect a piece, if not all, you can protect a piece of something. And that gives you the opportunity to talk to just about everybody you know. Might as well ask the question, hey, is your risk protection package current and up to date? Somebody out there and go ask that question today just to see what the answer is. My friend, I hope you enjoyed this great weekend.
Rock and roll, Mike. Happy Halloween.
Same to you. Be good.
And remember, financial planning starts with a risk protection package first.
And your clients are counting on you. See you on the show next time.
All right, my friend, be well.